A silence of 3 parts. It was night again. The Waystone Inn lay in silence, and it was a silence of 3 parts. The first part was a hollow, echoing silence, made by things that were lacking. If there had been horses stabled in the barn, they would have stamped and champed and broken it to pieces. If there had been a crowd of guests, even a handful of guests bedded down for the night, their restless breathing and mingling snores would have gently thawed the silence like a warm spring wind. If there had been music. But no, of course there was no music. In fact, there were none of these things, and so the silence remained. Inside the Waystone, a man lay huddled in his deep, sweet-smelling bed. Motionless, waiting for sleep, he lay wide-eyed in the dark. In doing this, he added a small, frightened silence to the larger, hollow one, that made an alloy of sorts, a harmony. The third silence was not an easy thing to notice. If you listened for an hour, you might begin to feel it in the thick stone walls of the empty tap room, and in the flat gray metal of the sword that hung behind the bar. It was in the dim candlelight that filled an upstairs room with dancing shadows. It was in the mad pattern of a crumpled memoir that lay fallen and unforgotten atop the desk. And it was in the hands of the man who sat there, pointedly ignoring the pages he had written and discarded long ago. The man had true red hair, red as flame. His eyes were dark and distant, and moved with the weary calm that comes from knowing many things. The Waystone Inn was his, just as the third silence was his. This was appropriate, as it was the greatest silence of the three, wrapping the others inside itself. It was deep and wide as autumn's ending. It was as heavy as a great river-smooth stone. It was the patient, cut-flower sound of a man who was waiting to die.